And look at it. I mean, either it's single-stranded or double-stranded RNA or DNA.
There's been an alarming resurgence of swine flu in at least 4 states.
That your white blood cells obviously didn't consume the virus.
Well, bullets flew overnight in Egypt's capital when...
And the virus has an incubation period of about 1 week.
You're absolutely right. It's very different out there.
But there is no vaccine for...
One person gets the warts virus and expresses warts once and then does not express warts again. And another person gets it and keeps expressing them. What's the difference?
Amateur video shows that soldiers came in force.
We know that viruses are just a number of mutations away from evolving very deadly traits.
Accompanied by a hail of gunfire, probably fired up into the air, and also accompanied by armored personnel carriers.
It might start with a sneeze, but the underlying infection can cause far worse.
What you just watched was a collection of tapes gathered by my newfound friend. They show some of the events leading up to the outbreak. Everyone started off as a swine flu, a cold, a virus, isolated in its origin. Then about 2 days later, reports of the virus came in from across the world. People died, and a vaccine was created. It worked, to the most part. Australia, unfortunately, was one of the last to receive such a vaccine. But by the time it got here, the swine flu had evolved into something much more dangerous. The Australian government realized what was going on. They requested advice from the other world leaders. Everyone said the same thing: isolate, destroy. So in a matter of days, Australia was isolated, borders closed, naval bases destroyed, and boats were sank. The Australian government, along with the help of the United States, has successfully contained the virus. Or so they figured. From the first week, reports of new admissions to the hospital skyrocketed. Everyone had the same thing: bleeding from the ears, eyes, nose, mouth, and the skin had begun to decay, even while the host was still alive and breathing. 3 weeks, and over 80% of Australia's population had been wiped out. The virus spread like wildfire, transferring mainly through the air. Scientists had no idea what was going on at the time. One of the last TV broadcasts was from an American channel, saying that the virus was no virus at all. Instead, some kind of fungus, or was breathing inside the host's lungs. Whenever the host would breathe out, tiny spores from the fungus were released into the air. One spore and you're gone, infected. The walking dead, so to say. 2 months. 2 months and 98% of the human population within Australia were dead. That does not bother me much. As long as I follow the rules, I do not need help from anybody else. Rule 1. You fall behind, you stay behind. Rule 2. If you're infected, you're already dead. Rule 3. It's not inhumane, it's called surviving. Rule 4. Avoid the infected at all costs. The breath can infect you, even when you're not breathing. Rule 5. Disinfect anything and everything the infected, or anyone really, has touched in the past 58 hours. The spores can remain active for up to 74 hours. Rule 6. Keep to the roads. Staying in one place will only attract unwanted attention. Rule 9. Travel light. And I don't just mean in luggage. Rule 10. Break the rules, you die. Follow them, and there's a chance you might, let me rephrase that, may live.